What up? I'm Captain Austin B. King, currently here in Indonesia getting prepped to go into the jungle in Borneo to go after Red Kaloi. We've got a little bit more downtime than I was hoping, so I'm going to share everything I brought on this trip. So I'll start with the fishing gear and then I'll dive into all the extra stuff, and hopefully it's helpful and interesting. All right, first and foremost, my favorite piece of travel gear, it is the fish pond carry-all. I'm going to just go through everything I've got. Now, usually I use this as a carry-on. I flew Turkish over here. They're kind of strict on weight for carry-ons, and I knew of it. I'd have to check it anyways. And I'm less concerned about not having fishing gear here because I have friends that have fishing gear here. Now, if it's a full-on exploratory, then you get a little bit more stressed about stuff. Here, we're full-on exploratory, so the gear list is a lot more limited than if I did a full-on exploratory in a place that I don't have any contacts that have fishing gear. So to start with the outside stuff, just 10 weight floating line, backup line. We've got 40-pound fluorocarbon here. We're usually using 60 and then a rubber twist tie. Usually using 60, so that's just a little extra. 50-pound fluorocarbon, and then hemostats with nippers attached. Backup hemostats with nippers attached. I like that little system. It's been nice. I can clip it onto my Patagonia baggies, and I've been getting away from carrying pliers because they're just heavy and they're not the most fun to carry around. All right, so then on the inside, I brought 4 rods, which is pretty light for a trip for me, but again, I know what we're going after, and I've been here before, and yeah, so I don't have to bring a ton of stuff. So I got a 10-weight Douglas. I've got, this one's kind of fun. This was my first 8-weight I ever got. It is a Reddington Predator 8-foot 8-weight, which can be nice. I think it'll be nice for the jungle. I'm going to try it out just because it's a shorter rod, pretty compact cast. Now, the start of the show, Hardy Zane Pro 8-weight. I used it on the last trip after a few days of using a rod that wasn't as slow action, and I really, really liked it. And then we got a backup 8-weight that is the Orvis H2 8-weight, which I freaking adore. I've had that rod since like 2015, and it's awesome. But now I just use it as a backup. So then in this main compartment, right, you got all the rods there. This one, this is where I put my reels. Don't have a crazy number of reels on this trip, and so it's a little bit looser than usual. So I brought some bait fish flies I like. We don't really fish bait fish, but just in case, it'll be nice to have. Some sun gloves. I don't really like wearing sun gloves, but good to have them just in case. Here's the main go-to 60-pound fluorocarbon. And then we've got some 50-pound Yozuri, some 80-pound Yozuri, just in case, have a variety. And then this is the fly box of all the various flotation things. You know, we're fishing mostly big hoppers that look kind of like cockroaches. So it's a 2-aught hopper. That's the main fly. So I didn't have to bring a ton of stuff. We'll tie some more. But yeah, good flies to have. So then reels don't really matter in this fishery because you're not letting anything get on the drag. But the Ross R Salt 8-weight is my go-to reel. And one thing I do when I travel is I always have a little false leader. And that way it's got perfection loops on both ends. That way it is secured and doesn't go inside itself. I could talk about that in more detail if anybody's interested, but basically just make sure you don't reel your lines all the way inside. Another backup reel with a jungle line on it, and then a 10-weight reel with just a floating Grand Slam line by Scientific Anglers. But yeah, big thing is you don't want to bring your lines inside on itself because then it could get lost. And then we've got a bunch of backup lines. That's what I've got on the 8-weight. So that's a 10-weight, but 8-weight as well. SA Jungle Mastery, good lines. You know, it's fun because we're fishing all floating lines here. Get it back in there. All right, so then in these, the nice thing with this bag is you got this compartment where you can keep some stuff stored. So in this one area, I've just got a bunch of hooks. I didn't bring a ton of fly tying stuff because Fajar has a vise, but it's just a bunch of different hooks. We're still trying out which one's going to be the best. We need a long shank. I like the surgical points better. Not all surgical point hooks have a long shank. So we're still in the learning process of which one's the best. Pack of cards, just in case delays happen, things happen. Always good to have something. Then here's the middle compartment. Got a Sharpie for any fly modifications. Got part of a flip-flop in case we need to make some hoppers. Some fly line repair kit. I guess it's just some 30-pound fluoro. I had that from a previous trip. It's lightweight, leave it in there. Bonefish leaders, again, don't really need that here, but always good to have for other trips. Sunglass retainer. And then this one, which I think is important. So this is what I use to create the loops on my GT fly lines, but it can be really effective if we have to repair any lines. And then I've got a spare spool that is a Rio plastic spool. I freaking despise that all the spools are becoming cardboard now. I get, single-use plastic. We want to move away from that. But really, fly line spools are not single-use for people that are serious about fishing. I switch lines a lot. You store lines a lot. I get that if some people just have a fly line put on by the shop and never worry about it until it goes bad and they take it off and they put on a new one. But for somebody like me who switches fly lines a lot, it's really annoying that everything's like single-use cardboard now. But that's a different subject. And then, so this is a Rio Cranky, which pairs with this that has a square hole on the back, and you can switch fly lines off really easily. And then I've just got some spare sunglasses wipes in there as well. But that I like this compartment a lot because you can store stuff. And now it's gonna get all jammed if I go in the one. You can store stuff easily and keep it organized. Stuff that you might not use regularly, but it's good to have just in case. That covers the go-to fishing stuff. So then the next component is what all the stuff do you need to be effective, right? You can survive with barely anything, but you want to feel good. You want to angle well. And there's a lot of little things that can help make your trip easier on yourself, mentally, physically. You'll be able to fish better. First and foremost, travel with the Nalgene. It's a great thing to have in airports. It's a great thing to have on flights. Stay hydrated, drink a lot of water. I flew to Indonesia the first time in 2017, and I remember that flight really kicked my butt. And I've learned over the years how to have it make less of an impact on me, take less of a toll. And that's by doing little things consistently, taking the stress out of packing and having the right things at all times. So here's the system I use. First and foremost, I've started using a fanny pack. This is some I stole back in the frat days. I think it's Theta. I wasn't affiliated with Theta sorority, but anyways, I have it. Mostly because it's colorful. I'm not going to lose it. So I'll have my wallet in there. And then the most important thing, I'll have my passport. I have to physically touch my passport a lot to make sure I know I have it. That's just how I operate. But, obviously you cannot lose that. It has a little front compartment, and there I'll keep an iPhone charger so I can plug my phone in on the plane. I will keep a pin that came undone, but I keep a pen to fill out visa forms, which inevitably will happen. Gotta have a pen. And then I'll keep a chapstick in there. So if I get stuck outside while traveling, I can keep myself from getting burned, at least on my lips. So that's a little thing, wear it around my waist. Then I can wear it, don't really worry about what pockets I have. I like to travel in a t-shirt and shorts because I get hot while walking around with luggage. While I feel like the planes always get hot for a little bit before you take off and they turn the AC on. And so I want to make sure I'm not putting an extra toll on my body by sitting there sweating while waiting to travel. So then the first and most important bag I travel with is going to be my fish pond dry bag. I love this bag. It's awesome. It's very effective as a backpack, but it's also keeps things dry, and you can also use it as a pillow as need be. I like to wear visors. I might not particularly want to wear the visor the whole time while on the plane, so I attach a carabiner to it, and then I attach it to the bag, like so. Easy peasy, keeps it out of the way, and then it doesn't get crushed. If you put it inside the bag, it's probably going to get crushed. It won't look so good, and it might not function as well as it would if it was still in its original shape. So then how do you make this dry bag work for you as a travel bag? First and foremost, what I do is I have this bag inside of it. I don't know, man purse, whatever you want to call it, grocery tote. It makes my life a lot easier. So I have this inside the bag. When I get on the plane, I get to my seat, I put this, I pull it out of my dry bag, I put it on my seat, I then stash my dry bag, I then stash my roller bag. I don't fit in seat planes to begin with, so to have any sort of luggage in front of me would be not ideal. So this one doesn't take up much space. So then what will I have inside this bag that makes my flight easier? This is what really reduces the toll, because I know I have everything I want during that flight. I'm going to have it with me in this little bag. So this is my toiletry bag, bunch of snacks. So I ate most of them on the way over, but I've got some hydration tablets. I've got a meal bar. I had some sweet stuff in there in case I was craving it. Let's see. Noise canceling headphones. For years, I just wore Beats. And I don't know why, because gosh, the noise canceling headphones are so nice. These were Soundcores, like $40, $50. They've been great. And it's really been a quality of life improvement for all the time I spend on planes. I don't know why it took me that long to do it. I had nice headphones because I got them for free with a laptop, but they weren't noise canceling, and it's just a world of difference to have noise canceling. This little guy, very helpful, especially because I don't fit in most seats, so it's nice to have a little neck support. Pair of socks. I travel in sandals because I want to have sandals when I'm fishing for around camp and just general navigating, especially I'm in the tropics. I don't really want to wear socks and regular shoes, but I don't want to be barefoot in a plane. So having a pair of socks makes that easier. Then what do I keep in the toiletry bag? Retainer. If I'm going to sleep, I need my retainer. I love it. I don't care that I'm a grown man that wears a retainer. It makes my life easier. Sinus spray, lip balm, eye mask, earplugs. Super helpful. A little like sailing spray in case I get stuffed up. I get stuffed up on planes. You know, you want to feel your best. And then various prescriptions that I need while traveling, mostly for stomach bloating, because you never know what weird food you're going to have to eat on a plane. And then sleep aids. That will, talk to your doctor, but sleep aids will definitely improve your quality of life while traveling far distances and switching time zones. Because right now I'm on a 12-hour time change from Atlanta, and that is probably the toughest one to do because it's a complete reversal. So having a little supplements help that. This guy's done. So now something I've also done is to try to reduce the amount of weight that I am carrying around in the airport, right? If you're traveling across the world and you've got to cover a lot of ground in airports, having a heavy backpack is not fun. Now, people might say, oh, well, you got a roller bag. Dude, having a roller bag in the airport is so worth it. It might be annoying sometimes if you got to go over a cobblestone street or something like that, and sometimes it's a little bulky. But this thing is awesome because I can also put my really heavy duffel bag on top of it, so I don't have to carry stuff. I used to walk around with a really heavy backpack, and it's just annoying. You don't need to do that. So first thing in there is my special little pillow. This is a curved foam pillow that's been cut in half. That's my camping pillow. What I'll have in there, a big Nalgene, GoPro box, travel sunglasses. So those are sunglasses I'm not super emotionally involved with, not the fanciest. It's just good to have. This is a GoPro dome for underwater shots. Toiletry bag. Again, this is all carry-on. Toiletry bag in the toiletry bag. This is a failed dry bag. I'll have Gold Bond, baby wipes, hand sanitizer, and then an emergency whistle. So this is stuff I carry with me when I'm fishing, but I like to have it in my carry-on because you might need it during your travels. Also in this carry-on. Now the carry-on's a lot less intense than what I usually would bring because of the Turkish weight limit. I'll have more toiletries. So this will be my kind of not on the plane needed, but want to have in general. So toothbrush, deodorant, some mucus expectorant, and some stomach stuff, and a chapstick, and then neti packets. And then nail clippers and a razor and a backup toothbrush. So that stuff I'll use during the travels, but I don't exactly need it on the plane. You know, I'll go and brush my teeth during my layover, but I don't exactly need it with me at the seat. So then I have another toiletry bag with just a couple items. So I've got some Dr. Bronner's body soap and some Sudafed, and then a toothpaste, a travel toothpaste that is under 3 ounces. I usually travel with a bigger toothpaste tube. It's in the hotel bathroom right now, but you know, in case they steal that, then I have that one just in case. So then, easy access to stuff. This little zippered compartment makes life easy. So in there, I'm going to have my converters and my charging cords. I travel with an iPhone 1, and then what is it, the like traditional USB one. So that will charge headlamps, headphones, and I don't have a digital camera with me on this trip, but if that would charge it as well. I've got the Euro outlet and then the US one. So that way I have 2 iPhone charging cords. Also have some lenses for the GoPro, and then extra SD card for the GoPro, battery pack, and then where I organize my receipts. So I just take my receipts after each purchase. Usually I put it in the wallet, but then at the end of the day, I'll put it in a Ziploc, and then an old Turkish. I'll actually put my other one in there. Turkish carry-on bag strap, because sometimes you know you have to be a little sneaky, and I might want to carry on my fish pond carry-all, which definitely does not weigh less than 8 kilos. So maybe I can just hold on to one of those and tape it onto it. And then workout band, I'll just use this to get my hips moving and my glutes activated and all that. And that makes life a lot easier. So again, I wasn't super aggressive on my carry-ons on this one. You know, when I was GT fishing or something like that, I would have big boots in here. I don't need boots here. We're fishing from boats, so it makes it a little easier. But I will have another packing cube with 3 types of technical sunglasses. So I've got my low light igniters, I've got my mirrored lenses, and then I've got my, what do they call it, polar chromic, like transition lenses. So this was an amber lens. This one is a mirrored lens, and the other one's like a yellow low light. Those are all Smith Guide's Choice. That's what I like. It fits my face well and provides a lot of coverage. So then in the carry-on, I will have my microfiber towel because I want to have that with me for sure. Got a little bandana, some custom artwork, which is pretty sweet. Look at this thing.
And then here, microphone died, but going over clothes and then talking about how much I like bringing protein, because you never have a guarantee if you're going to get enough protein in remote areas.
All right, minor setback. The microphone died. So I've got like a bunch of things that didn't record, but we'll get it going again. Anyways, one thing I forgot to say with this, the dry bag carry-on, is some warmer clothing. Now, it sucks to have warmer clothing in the tropics, but it makes me much more comfortable on the plane. I sleep a lot better. So I'll bring a hoodie. This is from the lodge I work at. Shout out KTL in Alaska. Very comfortable. And then a pair of pants. So in the past, I used to bring sweatpants and then UPF fishing pants in case I got sunburned or there were bugs. This free fly pants can do both. It's awesome. They're super comfy, but they still have UPF. They've been super fun to wear. 2 birds, 1 stone. Big quality of life improvement. And then I've got another UPF long sleeve by Free Fly. Now, I like the Sim shirts for fishing. I think they're more technical and they work a little bit better, but that shirt is so comfortable. So I love it for traveling and just general lifestyle wear. All right, so I got to go do all the checked bag stuff again. I don't know what I said all the first time, so let's see. It will be all original again. So this is a old soccer duffel bag I use, and I like it because it can keep things organized. There's in compartments and then a center compartment that I think does a good job of staying pretty well organized considering. All right, so in that main compartment, I'm going to organize most things buy packing cubes, but I've got 2 books. Now, if I didn't have the weight limit on the checked bag or the carry-on, I wouldn't have them in the checked bag. I'd put them in the carry-on just in case I had them. But this was like American James Bond. It's pretty garbage, but it's a fun read. And this is by Redmond O'Hanlon, who is my favorite author as of like a year and a half ago. I absolutely love his stuff. That's his 4th book. I haven't read it yet. Been kind of saving it, and should be fun if we need to read it if we have a lot of downtime. But yeah, physical books are always good on trips like this because you never know what's going to happen. First packing cube up is just some extra stuff. Oh no, this is my fly tying one. So fly tying setup for this trip's pretty light. It's really only 1 or 2 styles of flies that we fish, and don't have to bring a bunch of different crap. So got some glue, UV glue, and regular crazy glue. Bunch of rubber legs. Rubber legs are important for these flies for the Red Kaloi, so got a bunch of variety of that. And then some UV sparkle flash, some foam. All the flies are tied out of foam, so different color foams, different thickness of foams. Always like to have some UV flash just in case, so might not use it, but always good to have. A bunch of different threads. Got some 210 denier and then some GSP in case we need to really crank on the flies while tying them. And let's make sure this thing's still on. It is still on. That's good. Scissors, and then I don't know what the tool is called, but basically a long needle that I use for tying reverse nail knots if I need to repair a fly line, which can save the day. Really want to have that because fly lines break in a lot of different places, and it's always nice to be able to do it. I had to repair one while tarpon fishing 2 weeks ago in Costa Rica because a big fish took me into the trees and rubbed it all up, and it looked like the loop had cracked, but the core was still there. But just to be safe, I doubled back and triple nail knotted it. All right, here's some general stuff in another packing cube. This is just kind of surplus stuff that doesn't have a specific category, but a nice, I guess it's a stainless steel or lightweight metal cup. Use that for protein shakes. Use it to put hot water in it to heat up my neti pot. Just good to have. If I need to eat out of it, something like that. It's always good to have. Hand towel in case I need to clean up. Measuring tape in case we want to see how big the fish really is. Some more 60-pound fluorocarbon. That's a weird size, so I'll probably just leave here. Self-adhesive tape, really good for stripping guards on fingers. We're not doing a lot of retrieving here, but brought some just in case. And you can also use it if you need to cover up cuts or anything like that. And then some flies by a guy who tied them in the U.S., bringing those for Bahar for his enjoyment. All right, next. All right, we'll go into the clothes. So, big packing cube of clothes with a trash bag. Traumatized by the microphone now, so now I keep checking. But a bunch of different stuff in the packing cube, in the trash bag just in case, so it can stay dry if there is some water issues. 2 pairs of Patagonia baggies. Those are my favorite shorts. I love them. They've been great. You know, give a little bit of variety in the photos to have different colors. So, bunch of pairs of Nike compression shorts. These are the best. I don't think anybody makes better base layer stuff, athletic wear than Nike. And then some ex officio boxers if you want a little looser fit in camp or sleeping. Cotton t-shirt. I like to sleep in a cotton t-shirt, so always bring one. It's not the most technical, but it's good to have. Bandana, and then a buff just in case it gets really sunny or there are bugs or something. It's always good to have it. I don't usually wear them. Simms fishing hoodie and another Simms fishing shirt. Those are the Intruders hoodie and then just the regular Intruder. I like them a lot. They've got zippered pockets, which is huge for me while fishing because I want to keep a chapstick and a lens wipe and maybe some like terminal tackle if I need be, and then just some regular boxers. All right, next packing cube is going to be the first aid kit. Now, I've gone over this before, so I won't get into super detail on this, but we'll just run through it. This is my survival bag. It's got paracord, waterproof matches, compass, lighter, and then a pin with duct tape wrapped around it. I also have duct tape wrapped around my Nalgene, but always good to have that. If I get lost, I want to have that with me just in case if I need to survive somewhere. Usually, if you have a compass, you can find water. If you can find water, you'll find people at some point. People are usually along water. Just go downriver until you find somebody if need be. Got lost in a snowstorm in Montana one time, and that's how I got out. Neosporin. Body Glide. Now these are, hopefully I don't have to use them, but you want to have them. This is my first aid kit, which I've gone in depth on other places before. There's a dude right outside on the ledge. Looks like he's doing some construction work or watering or something. Some baby soap, or what is that? Baby shampoo? Yeah, baby shampoo. So if something gets in my eye, I can wash it out. Somebody needs that. A little bit of backup sunscreen. More antibiotics. More Gold Bond. Desitin. Baby diaper rash stuff. If you get a really bad rash that Body Glide and Gold Bond couldn't prevent, use that stuff. It'll heal up really quick. Some Sudafed and other sinus issue stuff. A&D cream, just the general body cream. Don't need it on this trip, but backup shoelaces. And then just single serve AM, PM, Dayquil, NyQuil. That covers the first aid kit. Star of the show, clothing wise, lightweight rain jacket. It's a Grundens one. I like it because it's lightweight, it's breathable, and it's light colored, so I can wear it throughout rainstorms in the tropics without getting too hot. Water bladder, I don't even bring the straw. This is just for storage, but with this and my 2 Nalgene's, I can easily have over a gallon of water on me in my backpack, no problem. Then I'm not reliant on other people to have water. I see people travel without a water bottle. Dude, that's so messed up. Like, at least bring 1 Nalgene. Ideally bring 2. But to just be totally dependent on somebody else to provide a water vessel for you, like, come on. Be an adult, plan ahead, bring the bare essentials, which would be having a water bottle. Okay, so the next packing cube is going to be some general toiletries, just overflow stuff that I want to have. The OG, the baby wipes, got to have it. Some more neti packets, that's just backup. Eardrops for water in the ear. I don't think there's any container that doesn't leak that has eardrops, but just in case you need it, some NyQuil tablets and some Pepto-Bismol, some stomach antibiotics just in case, and some saline stuff for sinuses, backup, face sunscreen, 100 SPF. I'm pale, gotta be prepared. And then some other toiletries, just stuff that could leak a little bit more. So all of this, you'll notice, anything that can leak, I've got it double bagged because stuff leaks like crazy. Things will explode. Things will just ease out. You don't want to ruin your other gear because you've had one thing ruined. Then that thing just, it goes and ends its useful life, but it doesn't ruin anything else. Backup Dr. Bronner's soap, some tissues and toilet paper with some chapsticks. Again, backups. It's good to have. Backup hand sanitizer, bigger thing of Gold Bond. Gold Bond's huge. I'm a big fan, especially in hot environments. You don't want to chafe. There's no reason to chase. Use technology. Use Gold Bond. And then some skin antibiotic. So that's, start seeing something that looks like a staph infection, start putting that on there. Hopefully it can stop it from getting worse. All right, that's that stuff. So then we will, I'm going to clean it up. All right, a few more things. Let's see. All right, we've got one of the, soccer cleat compartments. That's where I keep my Crocs. I didn't bring them last time when I was out here, and I didn't really need them, but for camp, it's muddy. When you get up in the middle of the night, you don't really want to step in mud and then get back in the tent and all that. So I would rinse my feet off in a bowl. So seeing if the Crocs will make life a little easier. Here's some wading socks, just in case you need them. Some spray sunscreen, a stick sunscreen. On the topic of shoes, I also have my Bonefish wading booties. They're super lightweight, but they keep my feet protected. So if we do end up wading somewhere, that's what I want to have. And then I've actually had to use them here to work out in the gym because the first time I got away with wearing the Crocs in, and then most recently they stopped me. I'm going to work out barefoot in socks, but they didn't like the Crocs. So I came in with, less substantial shoes, but they cover and don't have holes in them. And that was okay. So here's a new item. this anti-fog spray. My sunglasses fogged up a bunch on the trip here in the spring. I think a lot of it was me getting a little too excited and maybe breathing too heavy during big shots, but maybe it'll work. Hopefully it does. We shall see. And then the other item in the small duffel is going to be some various food items. So we've got the goat, the Aldi gummy bears, Black Forest. They're so good. Got some dried mango, meal bar. Those are great. Just in case. Some Noon hydration tablets. Got to stay hydrated. Some tea in case I feel fancy. Want to treat myself. And then cashews, almonds. So I usually like to bring just some form of food so I can know I can have a little bit of substance as needed. You know, you never know. I think the place, a lot of times I'll end up bringing the food back because I don't eat it all. So if you do get stopped at customs in the U.S. coming back, you just got to communicate that you brought it with you. It's all from the U.S. because certain stuff they don't want you to bring back in or bring in. But if it's from the U.S., usually you're fine. That can be fun to get stopped for that after a long day of travel. All right, so that covers everything in the smaller duffel. So then what else do we have? We've got all these things. So then the big thing is fitting it into the bigger duffel, how that goes. I also brought a yoga mat that I got from a friend. Good friend of mine, Sean, brought a yoga mat on our last trip to Djibouti, and it was great. I got to work out on these trips. I hate working out in body weight. I want to lift weights, but that's not always an option. And for my back to be happy, I've got to move and do exercises. So sometimes it's tough to stay motivated if you're going to work out in the mud or the sand. And so I'm hoping the yoga mat will be a good difference maker. Something I'll also grab that I'm going to take with me to the jungle is the towel from the Turkish Airlines, or not the towel, blanket from the Turkish Airlines, and a pillow. You know, give myself a little bit more comfort. And, you know, why not? Oh, and then I took it out, but, you know, I got my good luck charm in clothing. Dogs Hawaiian, Dogs Play, Tech tomorrow. I should be able to watch the highlights because we're traveling tomorrow, but I'll have Wi-Fi in the evening. And, well, actually with the time change, might not. But then the Dogs play Bama in the SEC Championship in a week and a day. We'll be fishing then, so I'll have to remember to wear my lucky shirt during that day. Got my dog shirt here too, so we got double coverage. But this is the big duffel I use. So from REI, the big reason I got it, it's lightweight and it can fit the fish pond. And so what I will do is, it always takes a little bit of squeezing, but I will put the big green duffel, let's check if this is still working, it is, inside the bigger, you know, put it inside this black duffel, and then I'm going to run this on top, also in there, and then voila, close it up, and I've got this. It's nice. It's got this little compartment right here, so I always keep a little lock in there. Zip it up, put the lock in there, good to go. And I like that because, you know, 2 check bags can become 1. If I have a weight issue, I can just take the green one out and put it in there. I have 2 check bags, but keeps it to 1. And I don't want that fish pond out in the open if I do have to check it. If I'm flying somewhere, I'm always going to try to carry it on if I don't have any resources on location. By doing a full-on exploratory where, you know, I land there, my fly rod doesn't show up, there's no options. So, but when I fly home, just to not have to worry about it so nothing gets taken. You know, like I lost my hemostats flying through Istanbul last month, which I've done that. You know, you never know. It's always, they might have rules, but sometimes they get enforced, sometimes they don't. I never had an issue before. And that day, whoever didn't like them. So, you know, always want to have things divided between carry-on and check bag. You always want to have something in your check bag in case things get pulled. And I think that covers it. So hopefully this is helpful. I've evolved my packing routine a lot over the years. And I think if you have the right stuff and you know where it is and when you're going to use it, it can make intense travel a lot easier. And then the fishing's more fun because you feel better. And yeah, if you enjoyed this, I guess, I don't know where the button's going to be, but follow, subscribe, shoot a comment if you have any questions. And if you're interested in joining a trip, get in touch. Go Dogs.